Hello everyone, to another installment of the FAQ hour. I'll just wait a few moments as everyone sort of joins in. I want to thank you for finding the time to join us this morning for the start of 23. It's already February, so it's already pretty painful how quick things go. So I may as well just wish you Merry Christmas, because by next week it'll feel like December already. So, but today's a really good presentation. We've got quite a few things that I want to sort of go through. Pretty much all of it's new, but let's just wait a few moments as I see people sort of come in. Hope everyone's had a good break, been recharged. Hopefully some of you have been able to sort of get away on holidays and trips over the break. It's definitely been a tough 12 months for anyone in construction, or pretty much anyone, anyone who's anyone, to be honest. So hopefully everyone's had some time to sort of recharge the batteries for 23. And definitely the team at Canibuild has. We've got quite a few features that we want to sort of go through and outline a few things in regards to our plans going forward in the next 12 months. So we're streaming, obviously on the webinar through Zoom, as well as Facebook. And like always, if anyone misses this installment, we'll be uploading it to our YouTube channel as well, so you can have a look at it there. Any of your colleagues that may have missed it. So just to go through what we're sort of discussing today, and I'll touch on the points. We've introduced the ability to search by longitude and latitude. I'll showcase that and I'll explain how to make the most of it. A lot of the tips that I'll be showing in regards to that has been sort of borrowed from our friends in the sheds and garages and farm buildings industry that uses that quite a lot. And that feature was introduced to mainly benefit them, but it can help anyone that's building on large blocks or properties that you need to actually see position by longitude and latitude. Because if you're on a 10-hectare block, saying you're at 22 Johnson might not really help. We'll also be touching on a major feature upgrade, which is the ability to do landscaping, and there's different tools to help with that, so you don't have to sort of drag and drop things. You'll be able to sort of add shrubs, trees, materials and things like that. We're also touching on textures. It wasn't listed on the email, but we'll be showing how you can now start showcasing exactly, your tile range, or, even turfing or timber range on Canibuild, and I'll sort of touch on that. We'll also touch briefly on the detailed CAD files, because a lot of companies are using our CAD file proposals. So it's a pretty jam-packed session. But I can see quite a few companies have already joined in with us. So for those of you that don't know me, Timothy Cocaro, I'm the founder and CEO of Canibuild. These sessions are held on the first Thursday at 11 o'clock every single month. I take quite a lot of pleasure in doing these. And it's basically just for our clients, especially those that have just signed on, but there's a lot of repeat people that jump in. And the intention is just to go through any new features, anything that we've done, and then give you guys the opportunity to sort of jump in with any questions. So put simply, feel free to jump in. Even if it's not on topic, I'm happy to sort of assist anyone with any questions that they might have. So without further ado, I'll share my screen and let's just start running through today's FAQ hour. Okay, so for those joining us for the first time, thank you for putting the trust in us in regards to using Canibuild. And for those of you that's joined back, welcome back, and hopefully I can sort of showcase some things that you haven't seen before. So I'll start off with talking about the longitude and latitude ability to search. So as you're aware, you're able to search by address. You're able to also search by estates and lot numbers and lot DP. But many of you, especially in the sheds and garages, which are building on rural properties, or even home builders are doing on rural, a lot of you have asked for longitude and latitude. So now some of you might say, well, especially if you haven't searched in that method before, I don't understand, how would you even do that? So just to give you a few quick tips and pointers, when you take photos, it actually embeds, if you've got location services on or in your privacy settings, especially on your iPhone, it will embed a longitude and latitude detail for every photo. So you can even open up a photo and see where you took it. Say you took it on site, you don't remember where you were, or you're cycling through the photos on your phone. You are able to actually get the longitude and latitude and go back to that position. So even if you don't remember the address or don't know the address or the property is too large, you can actually do that. So what I mean by that is I'll quickly show, I'll share my screen and show how that actually works. So here, I'm just sharing some screen grabs I took off my phone. So here's a photo of the team at location. We don't know where it is. We just know we took this photo. So basically, if you go to your phone and then scroll up on that photo, you'll be able to get this information that you can see here. If you click on the Box Hill little icon on the bottom left-hand side, just below the map, it'll drill down to where that location is, and then you've got your coordinates. You can actually put those coordinates, you just copy it, put it in Google, and then now you'll be able to see the longitude and latitude figures right here. If you copy and paste that, you can actually put it into Google and jump to that location. So let's do that now. So let me just quickly share back to the screen. So if I grab that longitude and latitude and copy that here and press enter, you'll actually be able to jump to that location. So here, and then again, if you wanted to do it on desktop, it's quite easily. Say you put in that coordinates, it'll click on the map, and then at the bottom, it will have those coordinates. So you can copy and paste that there. And that's how you're able to sort of search by longitude and latitude. It really does help those companies that are working on rural in particular. And then now what I'll do is, let me just quickly give another example. So going back here, again, click here, and this is the actual photo of us, the team traveling in Box Hill. If you copy and paste that and go here, and some of you might be able to click properties on the actual image file as well and get that longitude and latitude. So here you can see this is the street that we were on in that photo that I was cycling through. So it's very accurate. So if you take the photo while inside a property, it will land on that property and load that property. That photo was taken while we're on the street, so therefore it's highlighting the street and showing where we were. So basically you're able to then capture that information. So if you're looking through your phone and you just took a photo on a site and you don't remember what the address is, again, you can sort of go back to our YouTube channel later and replay those steps. Just to recap, go on your phone, swipe up, click on the address, or drop in a pin, copy that coordinates, Google that coordinates, and it'll give you the longitude and latitude, and you'll be able to copy that in here. Be sure to understand there's a difference between the coordinates and longitude and latitude. So the one just above here, this one here, that won't work. We are working to do that as well. But the bottom one is the longitude and latitude. So just copy and paste that and you'll hit that location and you know what the address is. So hopefully that's of benefit, particularly to our shed companies, because I've been requesting that quite a lot. So that's one improvement that we've done. What I would like to do now is maybe something a little bit more riveting, just to mix it up. Not to say longitude and latitude isn't riveting, but yeah, there's probably things that are a little bit more of interest. The other thing that we want to sort of touch on is our landscaping tools. And the landscaping tools really can be used for anything, and I'll explain that in a moment. So let's just jump to an address. No prizes for which address I'm going to jump to. You can't say I'm not consistent. So let's just go to this address. Now, what I'm going to run through is the landscaping tools, so the functionality behind it can be used in quite a few different ways. So it can be used for, say, for example, home builders that want to just show a bit of turfed area, a bit of paving area, where that is, what it's going to look like, or there's some like a landscaping package, especially for builders working in developments where there's a set landscaping at the front. They have to do a few things, or letterbox locations, or for pool companies, rocks and palm trees and shrubs and fire pits and things like that. So I'm going to show how easy it is to do that. And the reason I'm mentioning home builders is because these are the type of things, especially sales consultants, you typically hate to do. If a client says, I want to show where the location of the letterbox is, you might want to sort of tear your hair out and say, let's just focus on the home. But now these kind of things are made quite easily, and I'll run through. So let's just say we start with a pool, and let's just drop in a pool just to start with something. So let's just click any typical pool, and let's just place that on site. The exact location doesn't really matter. Let's just place it there at the end of that paving. Just for completeness, let's maybe just add a shed as well. Let's go for this green one. All right. So we've placed two structures on site, which is great. Let's position that. That'll do. All right, so we've placed this. Now let's do a few other things. Let's mark up a driveway just to sort of mix it up. So what we're doing is basically running through potentially what a typical siting might look like with a client that's asking for a few bits and pieces. So let's just trace this because I want to sort of demo this. Let's just mark it out. We know it's 37 square meters. You can click on it and you can change the texture. So exposed aggregate as an example. Now, most of you may typically just do this and do some annotations and generate site plans, but I'll show you what the landscaping feature is allowing you to do. So if you click on landscaping, you're now able to sort of load in quite a few miscellaneous things like rocks or beach umbrellas or chairs or whatever might be the case. So let's say, for example, we filter down by trees, and we want to do a line of trees along this paving. Now, when you click on this, you're able to click on it again. Once you place an item, you'll get these functions. If you click the two rectangles, that's duplicate. So if you click on that, you can now basically start duplicating this structure multiple times. So let me just click on a tree. And let's see what's going on here. Let's just refresh. I was playing around with this just this morning. We've got a question, so I'll answer that question while I try to work out what's going on here. Okay, so there was just something that I did to the tree that I wanted to pick. So now that you click that duplicate, you're able to start placing these trees along that edge in multiple occurrences. So rather than dragging and dropping. Once you're done, you can click the stop and basically showcase how that might look. We've got a raise of hands. So if there was a question, just you can either put it in the chat, or you're able to put it in Facebook. We've got Bree that's monitoring those questions, so feel free to just jump in. There's no need for, I'll stop and try to answer as I go along. So basically what we've done there is we've placed a whole bunch of trees as an example. If we want to, we can line up, say, for example, we want to, I don't know, get some shrubs. So let's just pick on a few shrubs and place that there. place the shrubs along there. These could be flower beds, it could be whatever the scenario might be, which is quite good. Let's just say we want to do a few other things, say like a fire pit, which is not called fire. So let's just click all. There it is. And let's just say we want to pick a fire pit and place the fire pit there. So you can start placing quite a few different objects. Now let's just say you wanted to measure out, say for example, a curved area for some paving around the fire pit. We can do that as well. So let's just click on this one tick. Sorry, let me just refresh. All right. So let's just click on this fire pit there. And what I might have to do is just refresh, because I was playing around with this earlier, and in typical fashion, as soon as I'm doing a webinar, it starts playing up with me. So let me just restart. All right, there we go. Okay, so we've got that fire pit there. We want to do a curved area around. So on the right-hand side, using the measuring tool, let's click curved. And let's just start imagining that we're going to do some curved concreting or landscaping area around that. So let's just do something like this. So just in terms of some paved area, as an example, let's click on that one and just remove it. Now what we can do is we can click edit and say, for example, you want to change this to a tiled area to represent it's going to get tiled. Let's just say we're going to square up that corner. We can do that as well. So in quick fashion, we're able to do that. Now what you're able to do is again, go back to landscaping. And let's just click on, I don't know, some rocks and place the rocks in duplicate. Let's just do that. Again, now let's just pick some shrubs. And all I'm trying to do is very quickly just do a few things that might be sort of wanted in terms of how to sort of place and things like that. So you can tell I'm not a landscaper. So basically here in quick order, we've done some paving area. We've done a fire pit, we've done some rocks, we've done some trees, we've done some shrubs, we've done the driveway. So you can see here, and you can do turfed areas in the same way that I did the tiles, and then you're able to sort of mark these things up. The nice thing about this is if you are using us for quoting, you can then basically click on, say, the landscaping, and then see an itemized quantity of how many that you've placed. So it's got here shrubs 5, one tree, and a few of those items we've done at 0. But you can see the point here, and you can see the running total. So we've got the cost of the shed, we've got the cost of the pool, we've got the cost of these areas. Now, the other thing I'll be showing you in a moment is how you can actually use your own textures and your own patterns. So you can actually load in your own tile sets and, you know, covered floor areas or timber, or if you're using modwood, etc. And we can help you with that as well. And I'll showcase that in a second. But in quick order, we've been able to do this. And I hope you can see that it starts becoming a little bit easier to be able to generate these kind of items. Now, it's not limited to just landscaping items. So if I jump back to, say, designs and click on landscaping, click all, you can choose to start loading, say, a security camera, and say, place the security camera where it might be an appropriate location. So we've got a few clients that are doing some different things. So again, if you want to show that there's a camera there, and you can imagine if you've loaded in a house, you can start putting those on the corners, etc. So pretty much this can be any item that you need to sort of load in. So, and then again, if you click onto quote and you click on that category, you'll be able to see there's a camera at a stunning $0. The other camera, I've got a price on it, $275. So you can start seeing, you can start putting in water tanks or other items that might be associated with, say, pools or houses or landscaping, etc., and do it in a way where it's pretty intuitive to be able to explain to a particular client. Now you can go ahead and start doing the things that you're used to doing. So let's just now create a site plan and go check out. Now, the nice thing about the site plan, especially for those of you that's doing multiple structures, it's not going to create a multiple page per item. It's going to be quite nice. So let's just give that a few moments until that gets generated in terms of that site plan. And you can generate quotes and flyers and proposals. And I'll touch on proposals in a second, because we've been getting run off our feet with how many companies have been reaching out to us to help have, instead of just generating a single site plan, can we generate a 5-page document all at once? And I'll showcase a few examples from other builders and what they've done using our system to give you some inspiration as to what's actually possible. So while that site plan is getting generated, I'll touch on the proposal piece and showcase how we can generate this as a proposal to be able to hand to a client. Before I get into the technicality, I'll share my screen and I'll run through some examples of some proposals that other clients have done. Before I do, I may as well just quickly show the site plan since it's already done. So here, what's happened is we've got our site plan. The nice thing is we've got our landscaping features, our trees, etc. And you can flip structures and rotate them, etc., etc. And then basically on the second page, we get a zoomed in view of the pool area. So you can see that tiled area, that fire pit, those rocks, etc., that shed. And basically the third image is a zoomed in view of the shed. So it will zoom in and centralize all the different structures you've added on and give a site context image as well, which is pretty cool. So let's just jump back to the main app. And just another thing that's a little bit cool in that regards is the 3D feature, but look, I'm getting carried away. Let me just stick to the proposal part first. So what I'll do is let me share my screen showcasing some examples of the proposals that I'm talking about. So all the documents I'm showing you here were generated out of Canibuild with a single click. You've got full customization. The nice thing is it can incorporate parts of Canibuild automatically. Say, for example, the flyer, your own documentation in terms of your steps. You can include a site plan. So when you click proposal, it'll actually generate the site plan, the flyer, the quote, and place it in the arrangement that you've predefined for that proposal. So here's an example, and I'll just jump across and show a few different kind of setups. Gian is a bit of a wizard. He's helps us with our training, and he'll be happy to sort of guide you in regards to how you can also produce something like this. So you can see here, this is the turfed area as an example of how you can use that landscaping part. And what I'll do is I'll jump ahead and let me jump to the end, because there's a few examples of actual ones. So here's one from Blue Haven. So again, there's their notes, pump, pool equipment locations, etc. annotations. I'll scroll down. And you can see then you can sort of generate your own quotes, etc. and start running through things like that. And then you can have, and then the whole point, the main takeaway about this is it all gets generated with a single click. It's not something that you have to sort of piece together. It's all predefined. Here's a shed company. So imagine being able to speak to a client, placing those details like I just did, and then generating a full proposal. So let's go ahead and generate a proposal and see how that looks. So here, if I go to services and click on proposals, which is there, I can click on all. So here, you can generate a proposal. Like here's an example of the Canibuild pools. If I click on that pool and click download, and I'll show you how to make that proposal as well. And let's just download that. So the image of the pool that we've selected, the trees, the shed, the pool location, the fire pit, etc. And basically this is just done by generating proposal. We've got the quote, it's got the itemized quantity of what we've placed, the sum. Let me just turn on my light again. 1 second. The quote, terms and conditions, etc., etc. The other example was a shed example, so you can cater your proposals however you need it to be. So let's just go to the shed one and click download on that. And you can imagine this is house. This is everything's shown here. You've got control over how it presents. The advantage is you can use your documents or generated documents or parts of Canibuild, and it'll just collapse it all into the one proposal. So here's the shed proposal. So it could be specific to whatever you need it to be. So let's just see how that proposal works. If you go to admin and you click on branding, and again, the main takeaway from these sessions is to understand what's possible, what exists, and then we can sort of help you guide through. But if you want to give it a shot, you can click on proposals here. You can create your own proposals, like through templates, and create one. But let's just jump to one that we've done. So say, for example, this shed, Canibuild shed. And basically, it's as simple as dragging and dropping the visual elements you see on the right-hand side, whether it's a cover page, a blank page, a video link, part of the Canibuild document. So even if you drag across a title, it'll actually purchase a title and insert it there. So you can do whatever it is that you want to sort of do. And then on the left-hand side, you can sort of drag and drop these components however you want. So if I expand that, you'll be able to see that example cover page that's been attached. And then you'll see another external document, which is that one there. You can reposition these using the up and down arrows, the site plan. This is the generated site plan from Canibuild, so it'll generate a new one on the fly, which is pretty cool. The quote, again, the quote can be branded and stylized, whichever way. You can remember seeing the Blue Haven one had the background, etc., etc. Any further external documents, and then it'll generate in that order. And then you've got full control. So say, for example, I want to drop in an extra page, a blank page at the end, and click edit. You can start editing this exactly how you want. And then you've even got access to tokens. So what I mean by that is if you want a client name and click insert, it'll have the client's name that you've got on that particular deal when you generate proposal, or job address. So you can say, dear Mr. and Mrs. last name, address, insert address. You can have the quote details, deal name, etc. The deal owner will be the sales consultant, you say, and then you can have a generated document that looks like you spent quite a lot of time on. And the whole idea with Canibuild is in less than 5 minutes, generate a site plan, generate a quote, generate a proposal, send it back to the client. So hopefully that gives you some insight into how proposals work and of its existence. So let's just remove that section and go back. So in summary, what we've done is we've searched by longitude and latitude. We've gone to a site, we've shown how the landscaping feature works, which pretty much lets you sort of multiple add and a lot more conveniently add some items, whether it's cameras or water tanks or fire pits or paved areas or rocks or shrubs, generate site plans, generate proposals. And if you've got, especially if you're a landscaper, you've got like 100 of these species, plants, trees, etc. And you can load in those landscaping features. So if you go to admin and you go to design catalog in much the same way as you would for your homes or your sheds, etc. You can actually go through those landscaping features and click landscaping and load them in, just like you would any other object. The nice thing is on the upload, it'll auto crop, so you don't have to outline the tree or anything like that. So it does a few nifty features, so you don't have to sort of spend a lot of time uploading. But again, reach out to us and we'd love to be able to help you, especially if you've got 1,000 items, 1,000 different trees, etc. We can do that for you. So what I wanted to also do is quickly, and if you've got any questions with anything I'm currently showing or anything, just write the message. There's no need to be too shy about it. So let me just go through my little checklist to make sure I'm touching on everything. So we've touched on longitude, latitude, the landscape tools. The other quick thing while I'm here, especially with 3D, if you have opted to upgrade to 3D, say for example, I click on the 3D. One thing I did want to point out, and there's a few videos talking about 3D already, how you can sort of do auto site cost, etc. You can see at the bottom there, it's calculating the quantities for drop edge, etc. So if you associate that to your own dollar amounts, it'll showcase that. And if you raise it, you can see the drop edges. You can actually see the pool shell if you're a fiberglass pool builder, etc., etc. But the recent advancement that we've done here is we can showcase the surrounding houses. We can go to an architectural view like this, and then you can click on the sundial and actually show the shadowing. So quite a lot of pool builders in particular have loved this feature because you can actually show the best position to place that pool. So you'll be able to see, okay, midday, etc. You can choose your season, summer, winter, spring, whatever, and see how that's going to play out. And then you can actually speak to the client in terms of what the best location is for that particular pool. And you can do that the same for houses. So if you're doing an alfresco and you want to sort of quickly jump in and show the shadowing, you can do that and say, hey, let's have the alfresco on the left-hand side because the shadow works best in that way. So again, I'm pretty biased, but I think it's pretty amazing that in very quick order, we're able to do that. And the other nice thing is in very shortly, we'll be able to showcase the 3D of all the other objects. So you can notice here, it's not showing those trees, etc. But soon it'll show the trees, the shrubs, all in 3D. So you can imagine how nice they'll start looking when you see the fire pit, the paved area, the shrubs, the trees, the driveway, etc. And I think that'll be pretty revolutionary to do that in a few moments and showcase in this fashion. So let me just jump back now. I'll turn the sundial off and go back to 2D. Now, the other things that I want to sort of touch on is textures. Now, textures is being released potentially tonight, if not tomorrow. It was meant to be for today, but our developers are fed up with me pushing them, and they said, can we just have another day of testing? So what I'll do, to their dismay, is log into our development environment and showcase how textures is going to work anyway. So let's do that. I'm sure they're cursing my name, but oh well. So let's load that in. All right. So basically now I'm in the development environment, so it's not our production environment, so not what you guys are logging into. So it will go a bit slow and a bit more clunky, but it should basically showcase what we're going to do with textures. So what is textures? Imagine you've got set tile ranges of set colors. Say you've got, you're a landscaper and you've got buffalo grass, you've got 10 other species, or you've got timber, modwood versus natural or mobile or whatever might be the case. And you want to start showing those textures, or concrete as you want, brush finish, stenciled, etc. Now we're able to start marking things a little bit better. So let's just say we wanted to do a tiled area for argument's sake. So on the right-hand side, you can click on that measuring tool, and let's just say that we're going to do some tiled area. Let's just connect it to the back of the house. So let's just say this is going to be a patio area, for argument's sake. So we've done this area pretty poorly, but let me just edit that. So once you click on that, basically you'll see this bank of icons. At the end, there's this little, it's meant to be a paintbrush. Right now it just looks like a rocket, so I'll probably be changing that. So as soon as you click on that paintbrush, on the left-hand side, you'll start having a little bit more functionality of how you want to present some random shapes that you do. So you can see the typical exposed aggregate icon. You can change the line thickness, etc. You can change the color. You can change the opacity. So right now, if you want that to be darker and darker, you can, as an example. Now, this is nothing new, but what is new is this textures box at the bottom. So again, I'll remind you, this is our development environment, so you've got a whole bunch of mishmash here. But here in tiles, you can start clicking mosaic, for example, and start showing your tile ranges. So let's just say we've got our marble, our wood, whatever might be the case, but let's just pick one. So let's just pick this purple one for argument's sake. Now you can show that. And the nice thing is when you zoom up, it'll just still show you what that pattern, what that might sort of be looking like. And then when you zoom in, it'll scale into be proportional. Again, the idea is meant to say this is going to be a tiled area or exposed aggregate area. So we'll have textures of brush finish or intricate tile ranges, etc., etc. And the nice thing is you'll be able to get the quantities, you'll be able to showcase what it's going to be. So say, for example, whatever it might be the case, you can be as creative as you want to be. And in these textures, there'll also be grass and things like that. So you can mark out a bit of turfed area, a bit of tiled area, or a bit of modeled area, and they'll actually show how it's all going to look. And the whole idea is it's meant to be salesy. We're not trying to challenge an architect out there that might be looking at this and going, hey, I can do this a lot better. It's meant to be a sales guy that says, hey, which tiles did you want? We've got 5 to choose from, or 100 to choose from, or whatever might be the case. Did you want to do this one or that one? I want these type of pavers. Okay, no problem. And then that can have a name. Everyone knows what it's going to be. The generated site plan is going to look. When that gets passed on to the back teams of procurement or ordering on estimating, everyone knows what has to be done. And again, you can see how you can start doing that as a driveway and have a brush finish or a colored finish. And then you can have which colors are available in the concrete. Is it all colors, or are you just doing 4 main colors? Are you going to have pebblecrete? Are you going to have stenciling? What stencils? What are they going to look like, etc., etc. So again, this is just a nice addition to be able to do those sometimes irritating requests when, say, for example, client goes, oh, I want this pattern that does this, and goes, well, these are the 5 patterns we're doing for stencils, if any at all. So if you're a concreter, you're now able to just quickly mark it up and say, is that the one you want? It's going to look roughly like that. All right, great. Let's move to the next step. So again, this is textures. You'll see this come in tomorrow or the next day. But you can see here it's already pretty much ready, and we'll be loading up some textures. And again, if there's textures you want to make sure that they exist there, reach out to us and let's work together, and we'll make sure that those are up for you and your team. So those tile options, if you're using Di Lorenzo tiles, we can load up how those looks. If you're using whatever might be the case, we can load up those textures so that it actually represents the product that you're selling. Again, I think it's pretty cool and pretty simplistic to use. That's the whole intention of Canibuild. We don't really want to turn this into a design app. It's the last thing we want to do. We just want this to be able to get you to where you need to be in just a few minutes, as opposed to being too clunky. So again, I think that's pretty cool. So I'll just jump back to our production environment and I'll close that tab. So let's just go through. So the other thing that we mentioned on our email that went out was some additions in terms of detailed CAD files and tender plans. We're getting, again, run off our feet, especially with the detailed CAD files. we've had CAD files there for a long time, which have the boundaries and contours, but now we're able to show quite a lot more detail, and I'll give you an example of how those look. So what I'm talking about is here in services, you are able to download a CAD file in DWG or Revit file format, so it'll bring down the boundary, etc. But if you want a detailed, so you can see here the detailed, in addition to the $10 CAD file, if you want a lot more information for your architect or drafter to sort of save half a day in work and gathering all this information, or sometimes more, you can use this. So let's just see how these look. So let me just share my PDFs again. And let me just, so here, so in terms of the detailed CAD file, you can see here the standard $10 CAD file is what you've been receiving so far. So this is what you'll be getting, but the detail, you'll get this. So basically for $39 and within a 2-day turnaround, you'll be getting exactly this in a Revit format, which is pretty cool. So I include the contours, the actual RLs for those contours, property boundaries, bearings, dimensions, etc. So it will be marked out a lot more in detail. So at the bottom here, you'll be able to see what's included. So again, just to let you know that that's popped up in the services, marketplace services, feel free to go there, download one, or reach out to us and have a look. So again, that's pretty cool. And that gives you the comparison between the $10. So this one, like a simplistic, I just want to get something done. So if you're used to just tracing using Google Maps, etc., that might be the best choice for you. But if you want a little bit more detail, you can get this within 2 days and for $39. And the contours are around 97% accurate to a registered surveyor. I think that's golden. So especially nowadays when surveys cost $2,000 plus and over 2 weeks to wait, if not more, this is a good way to actually continue the conversation with the client. And for $39, you're able to then wait for your survey if you wanted to in 2 weeks' time. And then you won't get any surprises. You're not going to get that survey and go, oh my God, I thought it was flat and now it's a 3-meter fall. It's not going to happen. So you're able to use this and continue that sales process and get it to the finish line. The other thing that we've done, let me just clear my notes, is the tender document. So the tender document, this is $5.99 and this is within 5 days, and that's the SLA and that's the guarantee. And again, so for $5.99, you're able to do tender documents like this. So it'll include all relevant notes that's required. You've got your site plan, you've got your floor plans, elevations, details, electrical, schedules. So I think $5.99, 5 days, and this is applying to houses, pools, sheds, the whole lot. Granny flats, ADUs, if you're joining us from the States. I can tell you right now, for the price and for the time frame, I think it's just incomparable, and I'm hoping you can see from the quality of the documentation provided. It's amazingly good value for that price. But again, if you want to sort of reach out and talk to us in regards to that, we're happy to have a chat. So let me just jump back. So, alrighty. So basically, so we've talked about in summary, long and latitude, the landscaping tools, the textures. I gave you a sort of preview as to what's coming, the 3D shadow, which you may not have been aware of, as well as the 2 new files, which is already on your services tab, to be able to download the detailed CAD file or tender plans if you so choose. We've also touched on proposals. So if you're using other proposal applications which require you to then go to something else and load everything else and collate them together and then generate a file, I think that's of a strong benefit. And if you really want to, what we can do is start with your existing proposal and work backwards from that and showcase how we were able to automatically generate that without you having to sort of type any bits in or change the name or anything like that. Just generate right in front of the client and email it to them. And if you need any help with textures, or you're already doing your own tile textures, etc., feel free to reach out. We'll make sure those are loaded for you as well. Now, those were the main points that I wanted to sort of touch on, but now I want to sort of touch on quite a lot of advancements that we've done. So I'll just quickly jump to analytics, widgets, and house and land packaging as well, and showcase what's happening in that arena. So especially if you're a sales manager and watching this, or basically one of the owners, just want to sort of highlight on the top right, we've got an analytics usage. If you click on that analytics usage, basically this is showcasing all the lookups and searches that your team is doing. So whether you've got a team of 2 or 1 or 1,000, and this is a way to see what's been happening. In this case, what's being tracked is all our demos. So you can see for the month of Feb, we've already done, staggering amount to be honest, 239. And then be able to see where those are. If I click on Jan, so I've got a more full month, just so I can get a lot more data. And let that load. So you can see here, the US is going quite busy for our business. We're growing pretty rapidly, to be honest. Our team has pretty much doubled in the last month in the US. But the main point I want to sort of raise is you're able to use this for marketing. You're able to use this for better management of your team. And there's things that you can do that's pretty creative. So say we zoom in here, and this is live data. So you don't have to sort of export it to Power BI or Tableau or Excel and start creating all these kind of sort of reports. On the right-hand side, you can do things like, I want to show these as dots. The color dots is per team member. On the left-hand side, then you can see who your best performing team members are. If you click on that little tab, it'll show your team members, and then you can say filter down by this person or that person. And it'll start showing. These must be all in the US. So you're able to sort of do that as well. If we jump back, you're able to not only do that, but you're able to do heat maps as well. So let's just say you go heat map. And again, this is pretty powerful to know where most of your lookups is happening. And by definition, most of the demand, and you can start driving some marketing decisions in that respect. And you can even start showcasing that data in terms of the most popular suburbs, etc. In this case, Blacktown. On the left-hand side, you're able to see which is the most popular land estates for you. So basically, which land estates is being searched the most by your team, which is the most popular design. So if you're forever wondering which design is actually being used the most and you want to sort of lead in with those, you can start seeing that. And if you click on dots again, you'll be able to click on that design and see where that design is being sort of showcased, which in this case, the Abilene is being used by the US team and by about 3 or 4 people because of the color coding. And then if you hover over, you'll be able to see that deal and jump directly into it. So let's just do that. I'm in the Australian account, so this might not load. Nope. So let me just pick an Australian one, shall we? So if I zoom up and click on that deal, it'll just basically jump to that deal. So you don't have to sort of re-punch in that address. So if I clear the filters and click on, say, this dot, click view deal, I can jump into that deal, which in this case, they haven't dropped anything in. They must have just looked at the address for some reason. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how that can be used for sales management. A lot of our companies are using this for the Monday meeting and seeing what was done last week, because you can filter by time frame. The other thing that I want to quickly jump onto as well is talking a little bit about widgets. So we've been really sort of taken surprised by how many pool companies are starting to use widget, how many house companies are starting to use widget. For those of you that are not aware of what widget is, it's the ability to have something on your own website that basically acts as a first point of call or a first contact or as a salesperson that never sleeps or eats. is just working 24/7 on your website to be able to showcase your projects, your designs, your house and land packages, your pool designs, and be able to allow your potential clients to cite that. So let's just quickly jump on that and showcase how that's looking, because we've done quite a lot of work in that respect. So maybe if I click the right tab, it might be best. Where's the other tabs? So in terms of widget, this can be embedded on your own website. So basically, this is our widget that's on our website, which gives you an idea. We've done a lot of work to continually make this look better and better. We've taken a lot of feedback in regards to this. Now, the nice thing is, you can see here, it's showcasing all the estates that we have. You can showcase those estates. As you zoom in, it will sort of position to that particular estate. And then you can click. So if you're a home builder, you can imagine this allows a potential client to start seeing which developments, which projects might be relevant to them. And then they click on the block of land, see what designs that you have, and start placing those designs on that block of land. So you're able to now on the left-hand side, cycle through and say, we want this design, and then place that design and start having a play. And then you can imagine you can start using this as a lead gen and seeing what works, what doesn't. And the presumption is you now have a lead of a client name, a client detail, client potential address, which design they're looking at. So you can imagine, and this works just in the same way as pools or houses or sheds, to be able to very quickly position something on site and say, hey, this one happens to fit. This is the granny flat that we want for this block of land. These are some of the details. You can click show contact. If you have the contact there, they can start calling. And then we click that show contact, which will give you some analytics, like how many people click show contact, how many people check this side or that side or this suburb versus that suburb. And then basically you're able to get quite a lot of information from that. The other thing is those little red dots that you're seeing, those are all house and land packages. So again, you can save 1,000 house and land packages. So this is a good way to augment your cost to say realestate.com. So you can have your 10 packages to realestate.com and 1,000 on your website. And then basically you can sort of drill down and see that package. And then on the left-hand side, you have a summary, contact details, etc. So I think that's a pretty cool way of being able to showcase your builds, your projects. So obviously, if you're a pool builder, you can opt to not show estates and not show those estate pins and just purely show the search address bar. And clients can start filtering your house and land packages to, I want anything with 5 bedrooms, and then you can see which ones are those. Which will be very few. So that's why you see all the pins disappear. And then the house and land packages, there is none for 5 bedroom. You can click on 4 bedroom and 3 bedroom until we sort of get the one that will showcase. So I think that's a pretty good way of doing things, or you can sort of search by price. So again, widget is an amazing, pretty much world first ability to very quickly from within your app. So it's as simple as if I went to 78 Hood Street, for example, and you wanted to save this as a house and land package, you just have to click on the deals tab and save it as a house and land package. So you go here, and then basically just create a house and land package from that siting, which you can't here because I don't have a house on it. So if you added a house, you can do that, but pool builders will be just showcasing their designs. So I think we've gone through quite a lot. I just wanted to be able to give this opportunity now to open up for any questions or anything that I may have glossed over, or something that some general feedback or anything that any of you guys want to sort of know a little bit more about. Just simply click on the chat on the Zoom session and you can ask any question. I'll try to answer that now. And it would really help if anyone can sort of give feedback in terms of these sessions, if you want me to start introducing another sort of detail to the FAQs, or on this session as well. So really keen on your feedback there. So hoping someone's got some questions or some feedback in terms of what I just presented. No, you're going to leave me awkwardly standing here. So look, team, really appreciate everyone's time. I really am sort of, stunned at how many people sort of take the time out to join our sessions every Thursday, first Thursday of every month. I really do appreciate everyone's time and effort. But please, if there's anything that we showcased here today that's relevant to yourself, or you want to find out a little bit more, you can speak to your account manager, whether it's Mark or Ramon or Nico or whoever it might be around the world. Or you can just simply email support@canibuild.com and say, hey, I saw this about, or sales@canibuild.com, doesn't matter. Just get in contact with us and say, look, I saw this and I want more information, and we'll be happy to help you out. And again, if anyone needs a refresher one-on-one training, please reach out. If anyone feels like they need to get a little bit more money, more attention, feel free to sort of reach out as well. But aside from that, please, everyone have a great 23. We're already a month in, which is pretty heart-wrenching, and hopefully it's a better year in terms of less issues. Let's just leave it at that. So, but in terms of Canibuild, it's going to be a pretty massive year. We've got a lot of things planned, and for the next FAQ hour, we'll be showcasing our roadmap. So we'll be touching on everything that we'll be doing in the next 12 months. So especially for some of our enterprise clients, if you want to know what we're sort of doing, feel free to sort of let us know. There was a hand up. Who was the person that hand up? I didn't realize I have to put allow for talk, but you can just write the chat message if someone wanted to sort of ask a question, rather than sort of I think there was someone that put their hand up wanting to talk. I'm happy to sort of allow for that. I just missed out who it was. The hand disappeared before I could see it. No. Well, this session is going to be uploaded to YouTube. So again, thanks everyone for their time, and I'll hang around awkwardly staring at the screen for a few more moments, just in case anyone had a question they wanted to ask. But thanks everyone, and take care, and don't work too hard. Bye all.